Alrighty guys, so as you guys can see, I'm baking at the moment. We're just gonna go right into the eye look. I want to create like a really pretty eye look for like either Valentine's Day, like if you're trying to go out for a date with your boo, or like even if you're just trying to stay at home and like have a nice dinner at home but you want to look a little bit more put together. I want to create a look for y'all, so I kind of have an idea on what kind of look I want to go for. I'm gonna be using this palette by Beauty Glaze. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. I use this like all the time whenever I'm doing like a full glam look. So I want to stick to like these kind of like reddish tones, and might go in with a rose gold shadow from this palette, this color right here, which is super buttery and it's just beautiful. Like I'll show you guys a swatch of it. There, you guys can see it. So I want to pop that like either just like on the inner part of the eye or all over the lid as in a cut crease type of shade, you know, like type of thing. And I think that's what I want to be doing today, so I just wanted to show you guys a look so you guys are good to go for Valentine's, you know. So yeah, to just get started, I did apply some foundation on my like lid, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of powder over the lids to set that cream foundation, and we can start this look. I'm gonna start off with fluffy brush, this one right here. You can start with any fluffy brush that you have in your collection. I just really like to go in with this one at first, and I'm gonna start off with the color bronze, which is this one right here. It's like a really pretty muted warm brown, and I always like to go in with that one for like my transition. And I'm gonna start applying that all over the crease. You can just pop that on and not be like too precise with it or anything like that, you know what I mean? So once I have that color on there, I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is 35O. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. This is gonna be my transition, then I'm gonna move on to a second color, then the third color, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna pick that up with that same brush, just like that, and I'm gonna apply this kind of the same way that I did the other one. But I'm gonna try and keep this one below that, so that you can still see that first transition color like peeking through. And I find that using different shades, like several different shades that are kind of like still in the same family, will really help to get you like that really blown out type of eyeshadow look, and it will just look like super nice and blended, and it looks so beautiful. So once I have done that, I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to the next color, which is called Burgundy. This is like such a beautiful color. I feel like I always go for these tones because they're beautiful, and I'm gonna be using that with a different kind of brush. So this one is a little bit more tapered and it's smaller, so I can be a little bit more precise with it. So I'm just gonna pick that color up, tapping off the excess. As always, I do have bake underneath my eye, so like we're good, but just in case, always tap off the excess. And what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to be kind of taking the brush in a way like this, and I'm going to start patting this on this outer V of the eye. Just like that. And I'm going to start kind of blending the edges right here. So I'm trying to keep this area bare for that other color, for this color right here, but I still want it to blend all together. So I'm just blending the edges of right here and also these edges. So I'm just gonna start blending, and then I'm gonna go back to that same blending brush and just blend the edges, so you don't have any harsh lines or anything like that. So I pretty much I went back and forth with that shade. I just packed some on and then blended the edges, packed some on, blended the edges. That's kind of like what I've been doing right now. And you want to do the same kind of technique whenever you're using either darker shades or like more pigmented type of shades, just so you're able to blend a little bit better. Now that we have done that, I'm gonna move on to the eyelid shade, which is from this palette by Blink Cosmetics. This, I'm gonna be taking this one, which is right in the middle. It's like a really beautiful rose gold color, as you can see right there. So this is the NYX glitter primer. This is like one of my favorite things to use whenever I'm using either a foiled shadow or like a glitter, an actual glitter. But this is just like a foiled shadow. So I put some on the back of the hand, and I'm gonna use like a concealer brush. Any kind of concealer brush or any brush that you use to apply kind of foiled shadows. I like to use these type of brushes right here. So I'm just gonna pick up some of that product, and this what it does is basically it gets really tacky, so that any either foiled or glitter you apply on top, it will look super pigmented and it will not go anywhere. So now that you have done that, I'm gonna start applying some right there. I'll just look up and see where we kind of left a mark, just because I don't want this shade to like transfer on the crease. So I might as well just cut the crease where it leaves that mark. And I'm just gonna start applying that in such a way. You can also use concealer. Sorry if you guys can hear that, that's just the shower running. But yeah, you can also use concealer, but I really like this because it really, like the eyeshadow or whatever I put on top of it really sticks to it. So I just kind of apply that and let it get a little bit tacky, and then I go on the other side of the brush and I go into the actual shadow that I'm using, just like that, and I start applying it on there. This is like such a beautiful color. Like, I mean, you guys can see it. It's like a beautiful rose gold, pinky shot. It's like it's a true rose gold color, and I love it. I think it looks beautiful. So I'm just applying that exactly where I applied that glitter primer. And right here I'm kind of brushing away the edges, but I'm gonna go back to that brush that I was using and kind of blend these edges a little bit further, so you know they look really nice and blended, and it doesn't look like just a weird line in between. My god, I love that. And just because I'm a little bit crazy, I'm gonna take a little bit of the first shade, which is like a champagne-y, like really bright color. I'm just gonna pop that like very lightly, like right on the center, just to give it a pop, but just a little bit to, you know, give it that really nice pop on the center, but not too much where it will change the color. I'm gonna go back to that same palette that I was using, and I'm gonna take that burgundy shade again. I'm just gonna pick some more up just to blend the edges and kind of build up this color a little bit more. I did get some fallout, but all this like bakage caught it, so that's great. That's another reason why I like to bake underneath the eyes as I'm doing my shadow, because then I can just prevent any, you know, anything going on the lower part of my eye. I'm actually gonna take that bakage off. Oh my god, I love this eye look. It just looks so beautiful. Take this angled brush and I'm gonna take some powder that I was just baking with, and I'm just gonna create a very clean type of line out here. like that. That's another one of the traits that I have. Like if you've done your foundation already and you're doing a very dramatic kind of eye look, you can always do that and it just works really great. You don't even have to do it with a brush. You can do it with a sponge like this. Just go in on the edge of your shadow and you're good to go. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do this eye off camera, and then I'll come back with you guys to do the lower lash line, and I'll just wrap this up. Okay. Alrighty guys, so we're back. I'm just gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the lower lash line. As you can see, the other eye is matching up now. So we're gonna move on to, we're gonna take this first, well, there's actually the second shade that we used on the crease. So I'm gonna start with that one, then I'll go in with this one. I was gonna take this fluffy brush, but I don't know how it's gonna work out. I'm gonna take that first shade as I said, and I'm just gonna pop that right here. I'm gonna connect it to the outer part. As you can see, my full face is done because I just needed to get that done. That, my brows. Oh my god, look at that highlight though. If you ain't blinding your man on Valentine's Day and every other day, what are you doing? Like, actually, what are you doing? I'm using this highlight palette by Clara Cosmetics. Honestly, it's like my go-to. This color right here and this color. Ooh, baby. They're like literally so good. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. That's not what we're talking about. So yeah, once that's done, I'm gonna move on to the burgundy color, which is the second shade that I showed you guys. I'm just gonna put that on top of it. Just gonna blend a little bit here. It looks so pretty today when it was snowing.
You did.
From here.
Yeah, when you were
It did. Thankfully, I wasn't out there today. Now I'm gonna apply. I'm not gonna apply eyeliner because I'm not in the mood for it. So I'm just gonna use an angled brush, and I'm gonna use that black shadow from that palette right here, and I'm just gonna line the lash line. And I'm not trying to put false lashes either. So, but if you are planning on putting falsies, definitely do this step or apply eyeliner so that they don't look too noticeable on your lash line. I'm just gonna apply a little bit. Yeah. This is my annoying brother, which is gonna be repeating everything I say probably because he just likes to be annoying. Like Ross. Right, Ross? Just gonna curl my lashes. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes and apply some mascara. Why do you have to chew so hard and so loud? That's Ross right there.